Hi, I wanted to talk a little bit about week 4, both what's coming up and a little bit more about the Word document that's due at the end of this week, the coming Sunday. Our discussion topic is web browsers. Uh, Anything you want to write about them, we have some web pages for you to look at to get some data and interesting things like that. I suspect most students don't realize how many web browsers there are that are available, but it would be interesting to see if you can draw any conclusions from that fact. There is some reading from Cisco about networking, which may be helpful in finishing up the Word submission, talking about networking capabilities. Please read that carefully. If you have questions about it, feel free to ask. Two things, I'm sorry, also in OLI, remembering again that we don't do all of these things in order, there's the last module that relates to software applications, which talks about software licensing, is to be read and a quiz answered this week. That's Unit 4, Module 10. And then also the unit quiz. So you have 2 more quizzes in Unit 4 that need to be taken. The final topic, I wanted to talk about Word. There's an optional tutorial that talks about how to create tables and gives you some sample tables. I found that those students who look at those tutorials tend to produce better tables, as you might expect. If you have any questions about the tables, ask. And 2 things toward the end that some people miss. There's a request for ISP and a request for web services. ISP is the Internet Service Provider. So for example, in my house, our ISP is Comcast, though my wife tells me that we're thinking of moving to Verizon. That's up to her. She can decide which of those she feels produces worse customer service. And then the second topic is web services. So you have some applications that might run on the computer, on the desktop, and you have some applications that you'd access on the web. Web services refers to the list of those applications that you believe are going to be provided and accessible on the web, on the internet, as opposed to on the desktop. I mean, let me give you one example that could be in either place. Microsoft Word is available on the internet and on the desktop, though most people have it on the desktop. But there will be some applications that are only available on the internet, and those are the ones that you would list under web services. The Word submission is due Sunday. Again, I want to emphasize it's very important when the question is asked, what is the particular category, what's function or application is it or requirement it's responding to. You need to use the requirements that are in the case study. It is insufficient to make up your own. It has to, though you can add that, but it has to refer also to the requirements in the case study. And merely putting down it fulfills all the requirements a monitor would fulfill or all the requirements that a desktop computer would fulfill, you cannot just put that. And I can promise you the reason I bring this up is other students have done just that and been marked down. And the last thing, or the thing I want you most to do, is to do well. If there are any questions during the week, I'll be online much of the time as usual. Good luck in terms of the OLI quizzes, and good luck on the Word submission.